Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're going to talk about something that makes me very happy and for a good portion of my early life made me cry, which is why I quit doing it. It is none other than knitting. It is knitting, everybody. Let's talk knitting. We are joined here today with none other than Aleja Allen, a troubled green. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses.
Hi.
Why, hello. If you've seen her on Twitter, you've probably seen her show off some of her many, many talented things. And also she is involved with the ginacarano.net, the website. So if you're not familiar with that, give that a bit of a look. And we do have some folks in the chat. It's so good to see you all. Unlocking Lore. Yay, the Crochet Queen is there. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Maria. And she's saying, hey, they're so lovely to see you too. Well, hey, I'm really happy to be here. And I'm so happy that a Troubled Green was able to be here. Now, help me out. Am I pronouncing your name correctly when I say it's Aleja?
No, it's Aleja. It rhymes with Malaysia, if that helps.
Okay, I was doing this.
Yeah, the Spanish version.
Oops.
No,
I just
you're
realized.
good. You're good. Like 31 years of living in New Mexico, I am so beyond used to it. That's the most common thing I get called next to Elijah. So Elijah and Aleja are the things I get called the most.
Okay, but Aleja, that actually, that's pretty badass. That sounds really
Thank you. My mom actually made it up.
Oh, well, even better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel less dumb for mispronouncing it.
Yeah, no, you're good. Everyone does.
Okay, well, I was going to say, Aleja, why don't we start off and share a little bit of our origin story when it comes to knitting?
Yeah, no, totally.
What can you tell us about how you started knitting and when?
So my knitting experience, I grew up watching my mom knit. She went to Sweden when she was about 18. She was there for a year. She was an exchange student, and she lived above the Arctic Circle. So, she lived in like Sweden. There's a little town called Pajala. And so all of her host sisters knit, and they taught her how to knit. And so when she came home, she, had yarn and she would knit all the time. So I grew up watching her knit. And when I was really tiny, I remember getting in her lap and holding onto her needles, and she would guide my hands as she would work on a sweater. And then about 9, I decided I wanted to start knitting. And I think the very first thing I ever made was a huge scarf. It was this massive like velvet yarn scarf. And so I did that. I made scarves and like table runners as like Christmas gifts for my grandmothers when I was little. And then the following year when I turned 10, that's when I started making sweaters. And then from there on, it just became like every few months I would get something done. And then when I got into high school, my mom's an artist. So I've always grown up in like shows, like art galleries, that kind of thing. So when I got into high school, I started doing little shows around Albuquerque. We go to high schools, we go to little churches, and I would just sell like, what I have in my Etsy store. I sell like fingerless gloves, hats, scarves. I've never sold a sweater simply because of how expensive they can be, because of the time and effort that goes into them. But yeah, so I grew up knitting. I grew up watching my mom knit, and then I started knitting, and now it's a stress reliever. Now, like, I physically cannot sit still when I watch a movie at night or like a TV show or something. I have to be doing something with my hands. So knitting is just like an integral part of my life now. So it's definitely a stress relief for me and something I really enjoy doing.
Well, excellent. I can completely relate to that, except not with knitting. But yes, I'm a crocheter, and not only can I not sit still without knitting or crocheting, everyone wants me to. Because if I don't, they're always like, I can't stand it because I guess I'm fidgety and I'm squirmy.
Yeah. I do too. I squirm as well.
Yeah. And I was a good girl. So my teacher, she used to let me crochet in school, in class. Because the whole idea was just like, okay, if that just she'd just sit there and crochet. I'd just sit there and
Yeah.
crochet and then do my work. I wasn't interrupting or bothering anybody.
Totally. It's the original fidget spinner.
I was about ready to say, I would have been one of those kids that would have been a lot of fidget spinner. Yeah. My story with knitting goes along with being a little girl living in Ireland. And I find it fascinating that your mother was an exchange student in Sweden, and that's where she first saw it, because in a lot of those places where it gets really cold, it's the struggle is real.
Right.
People really do make their own sweaters and their clothes with this very high quality wool.
Oh yeah.
To keep themselves warm.
I went to Ireland for a 2-week school program, and we went to Galway, and I got a lot of yarn while I was there. I've actually got the sweater that I need to finish. Got that sweater with me. But when I was living in Ireland, I lived there for a year. I thought I was going to do my PhD there. So I lived in Dublin, and during like the evenings with my host family, I would
I'm sorry.
No, I know.
I'll let you know why in a bit about Dublin.
Dublin was not for me. It did that. It's a chapter of my life that I'm glad that it happened, because I always would have been like, what if? But I don't miss it. It was not for me. But I would sit, like, my host family would be like, we can't believe you do that. And, because like in Dublin, it's still like they're all like metropolitan. But in like when I go to Derry, Northern Ireland, they'd be like, oh, we're so happy to see a young woman knitting, because it's just becoming a lost art. So the Irish simultaneously like really appreciate that skill, but then also are like, why are you doing that? So
weird. Okay, and let me be clear. Somebody just left the chat. Oh my gosh, I swear I'm half joking about Dublin. Okay, my best friend lives in Dublin. Okay.
It's cool. You know what? It's cool so long as you know how to get around. I had like a really hard time navigating like the train system and everything. That was really difficult for me, like especially coming from the Southwest of America, where you have a car when you're 16, like all of a sudden going to like you get on a bus and you get on trains. Like that was a foreign concept to me, and that was I struggled with that like a lot. And my house was really far from University College Dublin, so that was like a struggle for me.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the way housing is in Dublin. Yes, you have to live out on the suburbs and things.
Oh yeah, I lived in Dundrum.
And it's a very big city. It's not like the rest of Ireland. I lived in Cork as a little girl, and my teacher, they taught us all knitting, and everyone would knit. But I sucked at it. I sucked at it really bad. I kept dropping the stitches, adding the stitches. And it just wasn't working. And my teacher was a master. She would do Aran knitting.
Oh yeah.
And make these magnificent Aran sweaters. Yes. And I just couldn't. And then finally she was like, blah, blah. Hey, maybe crochet. It was like the light bulb went on in her head. And it was like the angels started to sing. And it was like I took the crochet hook and it just happened. I'm like, that's okay, awesome. I was meant to crochet. I was meant to crochet. I was not meant to live in a world where you can drop a stitch.
Right. So, exactly. I hear that.
And then I became a wild woman. Now that doesn't mean that I don't know how to knit, and maybe if my life completely depended upon it, I could, but I would far rather do that. But I think that's awesome that you lived in Ireland. I lived in Cork. And if you know anything about Cork versus Dublin people always make fun of Cork. It's kind of like the way people in New York look at people in the South, and they make fun of the accent, and of course I'm generalizing. So that's why I'm joking. But yeah, so I lived in Cork City, but also you can go out to West Cork and even go out into the Gaeltacht, and it's just amazing. The art of Aran knitting. The last time I was there, I go every year when stupid COVID's not messing up everything.
Right.
I got a water bottle, a hot water bottle that had an Aran sweater cover on it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'll tell you, you will not be cold if you're sleeping with that. You will not be cold at all.
I'm sure. Well, and I'm like a huge thrifter. I love going to thrift shops and just like wandering around. I have found 2 Aran sweater, one from Glasgow and one from Galway. And they were $5 each, but they're handmade. Like they're fully handmade. And I can't even fathom what these people paid for them originally. I don't understand why they were at a thrift shop, but like I have 2 genuine Aran sweaters. One's a cardigan and one's a sweater. that I'm going to get dry cleaned, and I'm going to give one to my sister. But yeah, no, it's incredible to see that level of craftsmanship still being taught, in places like that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the chat here,
No,
and I
you're
do want
good.
to say hi. We have Keck44, and I was kind of laughing because he's informing me that he will be ditching us for Friday Night Tights.
That's
It's like,
okay.
go
Friday
right
Night Tights
ahead.
is, yeah.
You know
We've got
what?
Chris
You know
Gore on
what they
there.
don't have? You know what they don't have? They don't have knitting on Friday Night Tights.
Exactly. I know.
They do
Shame
not.
on those boys.
Exactly. Avery, hello, welcome, Go to bag. Welcome.
Yeah, so that's
to
my
Miss
mom.
Martin. Oh, hello. Well, there's the mom who knows how to knit. The struggle is real, because that's the other thing. It's freezing in those countries.
Yeah.
And well, especially if you get to those Scandinavian areas, but even in Ireland, it's like the cold just goes through you like a knife, and they don't
It's
use
that
heating.
humid cold.
Yes, and they don't use heating the same way we do. They're
No,
probably
they
a little
don't.
more economical about it.
Yeah.
But to stave off the using of heat, you will have things like wearing an Aran sweater
Yep.
or really, really hot tea,
Yeah.
and
The thick
use the
socks
use
and all
of hot
that.
water bottles. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what you do at night, and it keeps you
Yeah.
warm and toasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Ara. Thank you for being here. Oh, and of course, Maria is. I hope I got everyone. I think I did get everyone. Hello, and all of you that are lurking. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. It's something I still love about Ireland is that they haven't gotten over serving their tea and their coffee hot. I think there would be a revolt if they tried that, because this whole concept of the tea might be hot. It's like,
Right.
yeah, duh. And the soup, the hot soup.
Oh, I know. And like I miss their tomato soup. Like they've got a tomato and mint soup there. Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah. Go to bag says, you know what was wonderful? It was the saunas in Sweden. Yes. I've never been to Sweden, but I have been to Iceland on several occasions.
Nice.
And they make a lot of use of the hot spas as
Nice.
well as saunas. And what's the other one? Oh, solariums, because it gets so dark and then everyone wants to kill themselves, because they're depressed. I mean, I'm only half joking, you know what I mean? It's real.
My mom had to sit under a light. I mean, we're in New Mexico. We get rain once a year.
Exactly.
So,
and then everyone gets depressed. And
yep.
It can be where you literally don't get any sunlight the whole year.
Yep.
And so, you would go into those solariums. I personally found the use of those kind of lights. I even use it where I live, and I live in the South, because when the seasons change, I have a problem. And I had a problem starting when I was a kid in Ireland with it. I was like, why am I always so depressed in the winter? Because it'd get dark at around 3:30.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that was
worse.
why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like, I mean, we go walking a lot more in the winter here, just simply because it's cooler, it's not 109, so we get our vitamin D that way. But yeah, when I was there, I was taking vitamin D. I was just like, what is wrong with me? And then I was like, oh, I'm not getting any sun.
It precisely, yes.
Yeah. So it's rough.
Unlucky Lore says, I want to let you know that I'll be premiering my Sailor Moon collectible doll. Oh, at 9 p.m.
Awesome. Congratulations.
I know lots of people that would probably like one of those. And and Unlucky Lore, please feel free to put your link to your store in the chat. I do have the links to Aleja's in the description, but if you could also share them too. And I think you've got a few mods to help us out. Carrie says, Carrie is not on tonight, says Keck44. So yes, Northerners. Oh,
that's right.
Does Carrie knit?
Well. Yeah, I think she does. We need to have like a full knitting crochet stream.
I tell you, let's make it happen. Oh my gosh, that would be such. We could share our yarn.
Yeah, just sit here and like do our stuff and just listen to Carrie talk. I could listen to that woman talk all day long.
Oh yeah. One of these days I might get out of Kim. It just depends, because there's some scary people around that might take advantage of my image for now.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm particularly cautious, because reasons I won't go into in particular, but one of these days maybe I will, or maybe I need to get one of those cams where
you can focus on your hands.
Yeah. I've seen people do that, like with their crafting or with their models. Okay, yes, do it. Yes. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I know some. We'll see. How's that? That'll be a dream come true maybe one day for some of ye. But as far as uh this stuff as an art, I was about ready to say, you said that you took your yarn or wool, as they call it over there, from Galway.
Mhm.
I still import my yarn that I use, especially from Iceland. If
Oh,
it's
wow.
really,
Okay.
yes, it has given me the title of snob from certain circles, but they're friends of mine. They're
There's
close to me. They're close. So I don't take it personally.
yeah,
And I'm like, it's not being a snob if it's better.
exactly. No kidding.
Yes, because the wool that they make in Iceland, particularly, and in other places like where it's freezing freaking cold, is
Right.
it it is warmer than your
Mhm.
average stuff that you might get in a southern sunny place.
Right.
They've actually evolved like the way they do their
Mhm.
spinning and stuff to make it so.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
my mom still got, she got, wool from Iceland when she was there, so we
Mhm.
actually still have I have one of her sweaters, still, and then we have some skeins, and we actually this might sound slightly silly, but we're like, "What are we gonna do with this really earthy, really" you can still hear it going, "Bah," it's, like, so it's still got the oil in it, it's that's how woolly it is, and we found these
Yes.
incredible, patterns from this gal from England, and she made this beautiful big stag, and we bought the pattern, and my mom just went to town with it. So as soon as it's like finished and stuffed, I'm gonna post it because it's just gorgeous. But yeah, so we still have a few items from Iceland, but yeah, most of my yarn is either from here. I Lion Brand is my go-to just for simple things, but yeah,
Mhm.
I still get wool from Ireland.
Oh, excellent. And thank goodness we live in an era where we can just get it on the internet.
Exactly.
When I was young back in the day, you would have to like send a
Yeah.
letter and a catalog and money orders, all
Right.
sorts of complicated things to get them. Yes. And I know what you mean about where the yarn's just sitting up there getting ready to say "bah." It
Yeah.
is. It's amazing. And if you live in northern places, like in northern states or in Canada, nothing beats it. We had a bit of a cold snap last February, very well
Mhm.
publicized all over Texas,
Right.
and then our electricity got shut down,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm sitting there going, "Well, guess what? I've got all of these Icelandic wool things I've been making for the past 4 years.
Right.
I was warm and toasty."
Yeah, I was fine. I don't know what you people were complaining about.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, suck it up, people.
Yep.
Just learn to live in the cold.
Yep. I have one sweater that I made that I just adore. And to this day, like if in Albuquerque it can get cold. Like there was one year it got down to like 12 degrees during the day. It was awful. There's one sweater I have that's warmer than any of my sweatshirts put together. So I'll just throw that on and I am fine. Like
Yeah.
it helps with everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Oh, it looks like maybe Friday Night Tights started, but that's okay. Everyone can watch this on the replay.
Exactly.
They can watch it on the replay. The rest of us have to go on with our lives. The rest of us have to go on with our lives.
Right.
So, I just put into the chat your store.
Mhm.
Oops. Oh, it said Elena. My gosh. It
You're good.
stupid racist spell check or whatever.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
So where a lot of things are for sale, and I know you're going to be showing off some of them, but before we get there, are there items that maybe you take as a commission? Like someone will
Mhm.
say, "Hey, I want this. Can you make this for me?"
Yeah, absolutely. So I just finished this girl reached out to me and she said I want a Nightmare Before Christmas themes hat. And it took us a little bit of going back and forth. But I was like either I can put like Jack Skeleton on there, I can put Sally on there and that will make the price fluctuate. And I basically gave her the breakdown. She's like, "Well, what if you just did black, pink, gold, and light blue, and those were the colors of Sally's dress?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." And so I just did a striped hat for her, and it's on its way to her. But yeah, I had one of the guys from Bounding Into Comics, Supreme Hederick. He reached out and he wanted an F Biden hat. So I was like, okay, I'll make that for you. So I made that for him. I actually made Jay a rebellion beanie that I will be hopefully making more of because a couple of people have asked me for them. So those will be coming in the new year. I need to give my wrist a break. But yeah, so long as it's like doable and people understand that there will be a slight price increase simply because I usually have to write the pattern myself and then I have to go buy special yarn, especially if it's something like kind of a little bit obscure like that Nightmare Before Christmas hat. I needed the pink and the blue. I didn't have those colors. You know, anything's possible. Hats especially. Hats are kind of becoming my forte. So yeah, I've taken quite a few special orders. Like someone wanted a slouchy hat, but they just wanted it a pure dark blue. So I just made a dark blue hat. So yeah, I've done quite a few. I had more special orders than I ever thought I would have with only having my Etsy store open since September. Like I was shocked at the amount of people who reached out. So it was really nice.
Oh, yay. Well, that's great. Your mother is asking me, or go-to bag, I guess.
Yeah.
you doxed her, so it's okay. Miss Martin, what kind of things do you create? Well, the ones that keep me warm, I have some blankets. I have earwormers that I make
cool.
often as gifts, gloves, ponchos, shawls, those kind of deals. Yeah, I those are my really warm things. I also crochet lace, make lace.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And dolls and the like I was showing the last time on my last stream about the Yoda dolls I've made and the little Southern Belle dolls. The special one for Ryan Kennel with Baby Yoda having a hat.
That's right. Yes, I've seen that Baby Yoda many times.
Yeah, that was a custom made one. Yeah, based on my normal Baby Yoda. So those are the kind of things I make.
That's funny.
Well, and then Drew is such a wonderful person.
Yes,
we all know Drew. Okay, so is there do you want to first to go to your store, go to a place to show off? Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? Aleja's gonna share the screen and we're gonna see some of the stuff that she has.
Okay, let's see if I can do this right.
Yeah, we had a bit of a test run, and then you will be taking the wheel. Okay,
did I do it right?
Go. Okay. You did it right. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so this is what I currently, and I'm not going to restock my shop right now, just simply because we got to wait till Christmas. You know, things are slowing down, but this is what I've got left right now. And like these chunky hats, I just kind of tried them, like kind of out of the clear blue. I was like, I found a pattern. I was like, you know what? I've got all this chunky yarn laying around. I'm just going to buy this pattern and see what happens. And it was a great pattern. So yeah, you know, and like the thing is, I kind of call this stuff my bread and butter. You know, like again, my sweaters, I mean, I haven't even listed a sweater because I dread to, you know, what I would need to price it at, but these are just fun, easy, quick things that I can get done in a couple days. And it's just been a wonderful blessing. You know, I don't know if you saw, I made a post when Jay gave me a shout on his live stream a couple, you know, like I think it was about a month ago. I was like, my goal is 10 items and I sold 10 items. And the sales from that day gave me a full tank of gas. So that was just such an incredible blessing for me. So it's been a really wonderful thing. You know, I'm not making hand over fist. I'm making exactly what I need. And it's been really just so wonderful to see people, you know, receptive to what I'm doing and choosing to support me rather than going to Amazon, which has been, you know, so it's been nice to have all, and just people just sharing my stuff and liking my stuff. It's been really wonderful.
Oh, well, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, some of these perhaps could maybe match some geeky things, but maybe not, if you know what I mean. So if you might be a fan of, I don't know, a series that might have wizards and different things, if some of these hats might resemble that is a complete coincidence.
It
but
is.
If you
I didn't do that on purpose.
No. They're just hats. Wink, wink.
Exactly.
But for the geeks out there, yes, there are some Mary Hotter things that you can. That's a weird rhyme. Things that might resemble
Yes.
by complete coincidence. So
By
if you
complete coincidence.
yeah, so if you're living in a cold climate and you want something to cover up your head and you might identify with Slytherin like me, go ahead and maybe buy the hat that might resemble certain
Yes.
colors. It's just a
Yes, and I've
color
got
scheme.
yes, and I've got one Slytherin left. It's a little bit of a different green, but I do have one Slytherin left right now. So yeah, and there will be many, many more. Oh, that's my little sister. Thank you for being
Oh,
here. We'll have many, many more coincidentally geeky things coming out. I've written out all of my goals for next year, so I have quite a few of them. So I'm hoping to at least, hit at least half of them. That would be nice. We'll see how my wrists feel, but yeah, so there's going to be a lot more geeky things in the shop next year. And the thing is, when I open my shop, so I was in a PhD program. I'm an Irish historian. I do the Troubles and Civil Rights Movement in Northern Ireland. So like that's my thing. I'm a
oh
writer.
my
I'm an
god.
editor. Yeah, I'm a scholar. Like that's always been my thing. I've been in school for 10 years, and I had to defer for this academic year for personal reasons. And I was like, I've been knitting for nearly now 22 years, and I've never won. Well, I tried an Etsy shop and it failed miserably, and I was in high school, so no shocker there. But
Mhm.
I was like, I have all this knitted stuff sitting around the house. Why don't I have the time now? I can put in, make it look nice, and I'm going to open up an Etsy store. And so, I started this just to even see if it was viable, because there are so many knitters and there's so many crocheters on Etsy, and I was like, there is no way that I'm going to get, I'll be lucky if I make 5 sales. And so I literally just did this to see if it's even possible for me to stand out in like this ocean of knitters. And it was. So I didn't have like as much in like geeky stuff as I wanted, simply because I didn't know if it was going to sell, because everything I make,
Mhm.
since it's handmade, it's a risk. Like, is this going to sell? Am I going to do all this work for not? So next year, now that I know I have the support, now I know that certain things are desirable above other things, I'm going to prioritize kind of what I think will be desirable come fall. So that's the goal there.
Oh, well, there we are.
Yeah.
That- yeah. Well, it's good that you have a network, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
of a solid in this community and products
Yeah.
and people to share. Oh, another one
My
of your
big sister.
relatives.
Yeah. She adopted me. She's like, you know what? You're going to be my little sister now. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, so not literally.
Yeah, not literally, but definitely in spirit and in heart.
Ah, there we are. Well, cool. Well, most excellent. Yeah, and it can get expensive, and I think
Hmm.
sometimes people don't always entirely understand why the items are priced the way they are,
Yeah.
is because it's the materials, the labor, and the art that goes
Yeah.
into it. It's
Yeah.
something that is very cultivated,
Hmm.
and also what you're getting is you're getting a product.
Yeah,
Like
you are.
I've not really sold anything like on an Etsy store or anything. I make presents for friends, but I'm also aware of the fact that if there's a things that aren't exactly perfect, it's okay.
You're right.
But when you're selling them, no, they have to be at a certain quality. And so to
Right.
get that quality and get the consistent quality,
Yeah.
that is
And the thing is, it's like with these hats, these big chunky hats, they're really in style. But if you take a quick gander at Etsy, some of the stores, and I mean, these people have like 30,000 sales, so it's insane. But some of these hats are priced around $50. And I've actually found
mm,
these people's Instagrams, and they're like, I'm going to pay myself a minimum wage. And I'm like, you can't pay a mortgage on knitting. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna, I mean, I understand I need to price it to where I do make a profit, but I
Mhm.
also am not gonna like we're in a stressful situation across the nation right now. I don't want to I want people to be able to afford my things so that they can enjoy them. That's the whole goal. Like, yeah,
Yes.
I do need to make a profit, and I have, done the math. I am making a profit, but I'm also not going to make someone else break the bank because they want a hat. Like, that's just
Yeah.
silly, So like I try to keep my things, and I've learned now with shipping, because I do offer free shipping. I've learned now, there are certain price points that are probably going to be adjusted in this next coming year, but I want to try and keep my stuff where I'm not selling myself short, but that I do I appreciate what I'm doing, and
Mhm.
that people can still enjoy them. So yeah, that's it's a very hard thing to balance.
Well, I completely get you, and well done that you actually think about that, because I think that I have looked at some of the prices, and maybe you could go a bit higher, but
Yeah.
they're very reasonably
Yeah.
priced as well.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you get a notification such and such has liked your scarf, I'll go click on the other things that they've liked. I'm totally stalking people, but I'll go look at the other things that they've liked and say they like my purple scarf, and they've got like 20 other favored purple scarves, and I'm like, why are they $45? It's a scarf.
Mhm.
It's like, so I think that's also why I've made over 80 sales. It's because people are like, oh, this girl's not charging an arm and a leg. So I think that that's why I've had such a consistent stream of sales, is because people can like see that, oh, it's like the same scarf, but one's priced a little bit more within my price point. So
Mhm.
that's I don't know. Again, it's a balance, and I'm gonna do some adjusting. And I agree with you. I think some things can be a little higher, but again, I don't want people to like feel like they can't get my stuff just because they got to put food on the table. That's just silly. Or gas in their car.
Oh, no, absolutely. Well, and also considering if you are doing something like Aaron
Oh yeah,
knitting,
yeah,
that just by its very nature, the kind of skill that you're going to be able to do,
hmm
it would be priced higher, even if it is a scarf. But on the other hand, it would still probably be cheaper than some of the things you can get if you're at Blarney Rolling Mills in Cork.
exactly. Yeah, like see, like this is the sleeve of the sweater that I'm currently working on. And so yeah, like this I wouldn't, I people are like, "Oh, we love those cables." And I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you do, but you don't know what time goes into them." So it's
Oh
like,
my gosh, I'm zooming in on this. Look at
yeah.
that. Holy.
Yeah, so there's like a 4-strand braid, and this is a basket, a hen's nest.
Mhm.
So yeah, like this is intense. So
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I'm like, I am proud of myself, because I was like, I haven't ever done like something at quite at this intensity, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I swear, like the body and the front and back are tucked away, but like I put every cable I could fit in that sweater into one sweater. So I was like, I'm gonna get them all in there. So yeah, it's I hope this coming year I can get it finished so that I can actually get it together and show it off, because I've been sitting on the sweater now since 2016. So
Oh,
I need to
wow.
get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lisa H says, "Lovely cables." There we
Thank you.
go. Yeah,
Thank you.
much better than I could even dream of doing. But that hen's nest thing, that's badass.
Isn't it?
That
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah. It's and the thing is, it's like, come on, focus. There you go. It's not hard once you like figure out, it's just, you're not like purling or changing anything. It's just you're knitting on top of other knitting. So it goes fairly quickly once you get it, but like you make
Mhm.
one mistake and it's like, oh, I've got to take out 5 rows.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating thing. So there's a lot of counting that goes in, because every single cable is twisted on a different row. So you always have to know which row you're on. So
Oh my
that's the
gosh.
one frustrating part.
Yeah. Now, do you have those little counter things that you can get that help you keep track of that?
No, I've tried and I didn't find it helpful. I'm dyslexic, so
Oh,
I found it's just easier for me to sit there and keep counting over and over again, and then eventually you're like, oh, this is row blah blah, and this is row blah blah, and you just keep going. So
oh
like
my.
for whatever reason, the counters, because I had to sit there and stare at the number, it just confused me. So I've
Oh,
never, like, I'm a very freestyle knitter. I don't, I'll write most of my patterns. I do everything on the blind. I'm like, it'll line up, and it usually does. And then sometimes I'll have to take it out and start over again. But I do a lot of things by feel. I'm not like a really precision knitter. Like if you look at Instagram, these women, I don't like, they're like insanely OCD about like
mhm.
making things line up and counting and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, you guys are uptight. You just sit there and knit. So like that's kind of me. I don't follow patterns like, and what I'm wearing.
Mhm.
I got this out of a book. I had to rewrite the pattern myself because they did it wrong. So it's like,
Oh,
ugh. So that was annoying. But like, yeah, I do a lot by feel. I'm not super like,
oh.
you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes
Yeah, no, I
sense.
know exactly what you mean. Because sometimes there has to be an
Yeah.
area where you use your instinct.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because I just was working on a pattern for a Christmas present, And I was just like, this dude's got it wrong. This dude's got it
Yeah.
wrong. It's just not
Mhm.
showing up. It's not flowing right. It's not going with what I'm trying to look at. So I adjusted it. You have to do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Steve Kenobi, he says they are just stringing you along, bobbing their heads, etc. Seems to be a pattern. Sorry for nitpicking. There we go. He put them all in one sentence.
Got them all out in one go.
Yeah. Yeah. He knows about being cold, but not on the Swedish side of Scandinavia. But yeah. Um it the struggle is real.
Yes, yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely.
And sometimes the best way to do it, when people ask me, how do you start? How do you do this? The best way to do it is just to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And the thing is now, now with YouTube, there are so many people out there that have such wonderful tutorials, and they're really slow, and they really show you what to do and how to do things. It's not as impossible. Like, when I was little, my mom had to show me how to do it with, I mean, she would sit there and like physically put her hands on my hand to guide me what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's because we didn't have YouTube, I didn't have that. So she showed me what to do. But now there's just so many resources out there that show you how to get going. And it's like, and I don't know if you know that there's or follow EV Magazine. It's that magazine that Gina Carano was in, that paper magazine, their first one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I'm not familiar with it, but actually maybe I am. If it's one where she's on the cover and it's kind of black, she's wearing a black dress.
Yeah. So they just did, and I should have pulled it up, but they just did an article not too long ago, and the title was essentially, I used to joke that I have granny skills, but now I just realize that young women aren't taught these skills anymore. And I was talking with a friend, she's also an Etsy, she also has an Etsy shop, and she's like, my daughter will know how to sew. Like, I teach myself, but my daughter will know how to sew. And we had this huge long conversation about, like, young girls don't know how to sew. They don't know how to sew with their hands. They don't know how to knit. They don't have to crochet anymore. Like, these are just dying things. And it's like, if you want to kind of capture those skills that we used to revere so much, like, don't be afraid. Just get some crappy yarn, get some red heart, get some needles, and don't be afraid. They're not going to bite you. If you make a mess of it, if you make some knots, so what? We all have. Like, just get going.
Yeah, exactly. And also don't get too ambitious at first. Like,
Yeah,
start
exactly.
with red heart. Start with that ball of yarn you can get at Hobby Lobby for 50 cents.
Exactly. Yeah. And make a pot holder, make a square. Like that, literally, that's all you have to do. I made table runners that were like this big. Like, you could put a pot on them. That was it,
Exactly. And well, we used to have tea cozies in Ireland. That was a big deal to keep your teapot warm. Tea cozies.
Yep.
And the what do you call it? Those darling cute little bracelets. There was like this fad that was going on about 10 years ago. Those little string things.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I would tell kids, teach them a little bit of it, and then like, hey, look, you can make your own string thing to put around your wrist. But it was like, and it was a good way to start, because all they had to do is know how to do a chain, and it was a good practice for making chains.
Exactly. I can make a chain, but I don't know how to turn it around and get going back the other way. That just doesn't make sense to me. But so yeah, I mean, I can make a chain. So yeah, it's like make yourself an anklet and put some beads on it. It's cute. Just don't be afraid of it.
Precisely. Oh yeah. See, that just kills me, because we are like complete opposite, because to me that it makes complete sense. And what you just showed me with that Aran sweater made me panic.
Oh, if you think that's bad, you should see my color work.
Oh gosh, I can imagine. Well, no, it's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Did you have anything else there in your personal studio you wanted to show off?
Well, I know people really liked, I want to show off my little baby Yoda. And yes, these guys, he will be hitting the store. Watch out for May the 4th. May the 4th, there might be quite a few things hitting the store then. So yeah, stuffed animals, I think, are going to be one of my main goals this year, is because, and people have asked for them, and they're so stinking cute, and they're really easy to do once you get used to reading the patterns. So yeah, these little guys and many more will hopefully be in the store very soon.
Aw, yeah. And It will not be baby. It won't be Yoda. It will
Sorry, not
be.
Baby Yoda. I didn't mean to come out.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's normal Yoda, right?
It is, yes. This is a normal Yoda. Sorry. I think it's
Okay,
just like
maybe it was.
habit
I think it
now
was
to
me
like,
that said Baby Yoda,
yeah.
or maybe we both said Baby Yoda.
It's
But I was
entirely
also
possible.
thinking more in context of it's not Yoda. It's little troll,
Exactly.
little green troll.
Yes, with a little cane. So
With a
yeah.
little cane. It's just a total coincidence. Okay, Lisa H says, "What is your favorite knitted thing?" What's your favorite knitted thing, Alicia?
Um, well, I could show you if you would like to
Oh,
see
go
it.
for it.
Okay, let's see if I can do this correctly. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna share this.
All right.
So, this. Oh, of course you can't see it. How do I? This is a brand new computer. This sweater. Whoa, that's bad. I made in when did I make this? 2015. I finished this sweater, and I based it off an ugly sweater that I just found online somewhere. And long story short, I took a lot of stuff with me to Ireland because I thought I was going to live there for at least 4 years.
Oh
That
my.
didn't work out, and I made the decision to stay home when I was home over the summer, and then I contacted my host mom, and I was like, I'll come back, I'll get my stuff, you know, and then the world turned up upside down. So this sweater is currently stuck in an attic in Ireland, and I'm so heartbroken. I
Oh.
mean, this took almost this was a year of work. And I wrote this entire pattern myself. I wrote the clawed myself. I wrote the knots myself. Everything. I made all of that from scratch, and it's stuck in Ireland, and I'm a tad bit nauseated about that.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the favorite. That's my favorite thing I ever made. It's just it's yeah, that was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed making it. So yeah, that's the thing I'm most proud of. Next to this white Aran sweater, which hopefully again I'll have done this next year. So yeah, that's the thing I loved the most.
Oh. Well, that I'm not sure what's the saddest thing that you had to leave it all behind, but or the fact that they just won't let us go to
I
Ireland. I mean, it's
know.
ridiculous.
I
And it was
know.
so cruel because there was a little bit over the summer where it was like, oh yeah, everyone can travel. Yay, we're
Yeah.
opening up the whole country. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And that's the thing also with me. It's like I'm a Northern Irish historian. If I can't get over there, I can't write my dissertation. Like
Oh,
literally.
yeah. No,
What
I
am I
understand.
supposed to do? So
Yeah.
like I'm hanging in the balance too. So I mean I may, you know, who knows, I may have to wait a couple more years before I go back to my PhD because I would like to finish. You know, I've been through I've got a bachelor's and master's and you know finish my PhD, but we'll see. But you know, I hope we can get back over there eventually. I do miss it so much. Especially Derry. I just love Derry. Derry.
Yeah.
It's when I was there, things were starting to get a little more dicey again between the two factions. But
Yeah.
they're a special group of people. They like the people the Airbnb where I was staying. I'm pretty sure that woman wanted to adopt me. She was so sweet. So it was
Oh.
I just loved it. I love staying in Derry. So yeah, here's hoping, fingers crossed we can get back over there.
Yeah. I never have been to Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid in the 80s, that was at the
Oh,
height of all that. Yeah, it
whoa.
was just wasn't
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Um, and even now I've just been doing research at other places. I've been doing Viking research
Okay.
actually.
Cool.
Yeah, been doing that, and I did a little bit of that in Iceland as well. About so many of the cities in
Mm-hmm.
Ireland were started by
Yeah.
the Vikings, and
Yep.
in Cork, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
Viking area of Cork. Um, so you said the Troubles. I'm gonna go slightly off topic. May I ask why the Troubles? And it's okay to talk about the Troubles
Yeah.
because we're not in Ireland. That's the other
Yes.
thing. Don't talk about the Troubles. The
Exactly.
first rule of the
Well,
Troubles is don't talk about them.
yeah. Well, and I'm sure living in Cork, you know, I would be curious to know again. This maybe another live stream about how much you even heard about the Civil War because in the Cork it was just so bad. So that would
Yeah.
be a whole other thing. But you know, okay, so I really can't pinpoint it. When I was in high school, I was convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt I was going to be a Tolkienist. I wanted to go to Oxford. I wanted to study Tolkien. I wanted to, you know, be fluent in Old English, like all the things, right? And
Mhm.
then I went to our university, University of New Mexico, and I did not like the English department. They are a bunch of crazy people. I did not like them at all. So I switched to history, and I took Anglo-Saxon history and Irish history the same semester. And I had always loved the idea of Ireland, but I had never really truly learned anything about it. And this Irish history class, I just fell head over heels. And the more we got into it, I was like, wow, this thing in the 60s, this is really cool. And just learning about the Troubles. And I was like, I had no idea any of this happened. And this is just really fascinating to me. So I don't know if there's any one thing I could say like that really made me fall in love with it. And, you know, I say the Troubles because most people understand, like a lot of people understand what the Troubles are. But what I'm really specialized in is the housing crisis that led to the civil rights movement and then the Troubles. Like the housing, urban development is what I really am passionate about. I just absolutely adore it. And it's like, it's to some people are like, you study how houses are built? And I'm like, yes.
Well, no, it was a big deal.
Yeah. It was a huge deal.
You see, I've studied a lot of these, but I've studied like the 9th century version of housing crisis.
Yeah.
You know, because of, you know, where the Celts would be versus the Normans and all that. But yeah. And when I should say, especially when I say that you don't talk about the Troubles, because, you know, in general, the whole idea, at least when I was there, is, and even to today, that you don't talk about religion, money, and politics in mixed company. But especially as an American, you know, it's like you got to be very careful because at the end of the day, we don't understand.
No, we don't.
And sometimes some dumb ass Americans be around and be like, I just think it's dumb. You guys just fight about religion. And we're all like, oh, it's more than that. And even I'm just like, I bristle and I'm like, will you shut up? You're making us look like idiots.
And especially for me, I mean, I was 7 when the Good Friday Agreement was signed. Like, you know, so I was I was born in 1990. As you know, I
oh my gosh, you're a baby.
Sorry.
See, I remember Smash the H Block and all that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
so
and the hunger strikes and
and
I always get a little cranky when over here in America you go to a bar and these dumbass names like Black and Tan and Irish Car Bomb, and it's like, don't say Black and Tans to someone from Cork.
Nope, don't say that.
You burned it down, you know.
Exactly. I mean, I take it you've seen The Wind That Shakes the Barley, right?
I'm sorry, the what?
Have you seen the movie The Wind That Shakes the Barley?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, you need to watch it. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's about the Civil War. You know, it's like the treaty is signed like right in the middle of it, and then they go into the Civil War, and it's heartbreaking. And like that movie, like a lot of people in Cork, it's not that they didn't want it to be filmed, it's just they didn't want to face their past. Like there was a lot of pushback to that, but Cillian Murphy's in it, and it's one of my favorite films. Like as a historian, you know, I can't watch a single thing, not even Beauty and the Beast, and be like, that's historically inaccurate, and I don't like this movie.
Exactly. Or you look at the clothes and
exactly
the anachronisms. Yeah.
Just no, don't. But that is like, I cannot find a single thing wrong with that movie. It's so well done. So you definitely need to watch The Wind That Shakes the Barley. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you're right about not facing it. And there's some part of me that wonders if that's not is it a better attitude or a worse one? I don't know. Because the idea is, why bring up the past? You know, get on with your life, why bring up the past. But on the other hand, if
we don't remember it, we're doomed to repeat it.
Precisely. But you know, it really is still so raw. And
I mean, we're coming up now.
Such a weird stage now with the EU and all that too. And oh gosh.
And you know, this December. This is the year that the treaty was signed. We're at the 100-year mark of the treaty being signed. So, I mean, this December 21st, it's going to be a touchy day. I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh, no. Well, and things were heating up. I know, like some people in Kinsale, and I'd be talking with them. Every time I pass by the Dublin post office, I'm always like, don't you all know what happened here?
Exactly.
And I was there in the 100th anniversary of the Easter Rising.
Oh, cool. I was there just a few months later. I missed it by that much. I'm still irritated.
Okay. We need to share pictures of that or something. Yeah, we're getting a little bit off topic, but it's my channel, damn it. And I do know, for all of you that wanted to come and hear about knitting, we're kind of tying it in here because, well, and that's the kind of thing that shapes you. Because to me, so much a part of the culture. I know it sounds really stupid, but when I'm every time I'm drinking a cup of tea, every
Mhm.
time I'm crocheting something or doing something warm, it's like I'm transported back to 1983, and
Yep.
I'm just got driven. I rode my bike home from school in the freezing cold, and my mom has we used to still have hot chocolate and stuff. We were still American enough for that, but
Yeah.
the idea of drinking hot tea and
Yeah.
really piping hot carrot soup,
Yep.
to me it's indistinguishable from a lot of the things that I craft and crochet.
Mhm.
And as far as the knitting, I guess I just haven't spent enough time in Dublin because you still see everyone just knitting and going crazy and
Yeah,
stuff, and speaking Irish as well.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy to see a lot more people are speaking Irish.
Yeah, especially in,
Mm,
Irish Americans as well. It's nice to know that they're preserving the language. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just it is. It's and it I don't know, it just has this timeless quality to it. You hear about these archaeologists, I mean, clear back to ancient Egypt and saying like we found a knitted something or other. It's like this has been a skill. It's not something that was, invented, a couple years ago. I mean, this has been around for so long. So it's a skill that so many people used to have, and it's nice to find other people who are preserving those skills because I think that they really are they're essential to our identity. So again, now we're
No.
getting deep, but
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, no, it is. I mean, we said we were going to talk everything knitting,
yeah.
and I got something here. I think Steve's already left us. I can't imagine why, but that's okay. This is not necessarily a manly discussion, but it's the way they used to knit way back when the Vikings. Um, let's see if I can bring up. I want to bring up a picture of it. It's like this weird hook board thing. I don't know what it's called. It's like a Viking. It's not a hook. It's like a board.
Huh, okay.
Does that sound right to you? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it like that, like, can you keep folding it over?
Yeah, but you fold it over and then it makes a stitch. I forget what it's
Yeah.
called. I'm looking at like knitting Viking.
Yeah, don't they have like modern ones of those? Like they're circles? Because my sister used something similar to that.
Yeah, you know what? It could be. I'm googling it here. Everybody Google. Um, um, yeah, gosh darn it. I mean, I have one of them.
Mhm.
I can't find it, but it's pretty badass. But
That's awesome.
that's like
Mhm.
an ancient knitting thing. That yeah, and they would make their stitches by again. They would like wrap it around, do this, do that, and there was
Mhm.
like a little circle in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, oh yeah,
and
I
that's
think I might know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. I just can't for the life of me think of the name, but that's an example of an ancient form of knitting
Yeah.
that existed. That there's all sorts of versions of that,
Mhm.
and
And that they actually like invented things to make it go faster.
yes, exactly. Yeah, um, and they were selling them at my local yarn store, and
Mhm.
they even have classes for them. So
Cool.
uh, I was gonna take one, but I didn't think too hard about it either. 'Cause but I'm thinking if I were to take up knitting, that was very close
Yeah.
to more like crochet than
Right.
knitting. They're not
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's awesome. So
yeah,
yeah, so
just ancient forms of knitting, and the fact that you said that archaeology,
mhm.
would use them as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're just, it pops up everywhere. So yeah, so I don't know. I just and it just, again, I come from, the depression era grandparents who, it's sitting still is a sin. You're always doing something. So it's just now it's
Mhm,
just like to always be productive and to have something to know that you made that with your hands and to feel a sense of pride in something that you created. We're such a consumer and throwaway society. That's why I love going thrift shopping, and a good portion of my yarn comes from thrift shops. I have found skeins from Europe. I've found skeins from Asia. I have found the most gorgeous skeins from all over the United States that cost $20 a skein. I've gotten them for like $2. So
mm,
it's I love this idea of making something that's sustainable and that something that's cherished, is passed down, because I'll never get rid of the sweaters my mom made. So I still have, and I still wear them. So those are keepsakes, those are heirlooms in my opinion, because so much time and effort went into them. So it's something to be cherished, I think.
Yeah. Here's an example of something I'm just after finding. Let me bring it up. This is a picture of, I don't want to stay in touch. Oh my gosh. They're
No.
covering it up.
Oh wow.
But if you look here on the left, it is an
Yeah.
ancient Egyptian picture with
Mhm.
oh my gosh, and I am gonna lose my crap. They're not letting me click
Oh,
to
is it?
get rid of the ad.
Yeah, it's got a paywall.
Not even a paywall. It's like, let's stay in touch, sign up for patterns. And
Oh,
there's a no thank you, but they're making
yeah.
it that I really can't get to the no thank you part because they have this banner on the bottom. But okay,
Oh,
what I'm
lovely.
trying to show you all is this is from an ancient Egyptian thing here. And
Yeah.
you can see that, let me make it big because I don't want to stay in touch, you jerks. It's like some knitting needles, 2 things of yarn, and a form of knitting.
Yep.
So
That's
it's
incredible.
there. I'm just gonna get off this because this is making me so mad.
I
But
hate
you can
those
see most of the
things.
picture.
Right.
Yeah, they have a thing, no thanks, but they're making it that it's really hard to click. Oh, there you go, you stupid jerks. Okay, I finally got rid of that. Share screen. Here we go. Because actually the whole picture is pretty badass. Here we go. There we are.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, you see, look at that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you can see they're kind of holding it, and look at those big needles and
Yeah.
all
That's
these things.
incredible.
Yeah, and that's like dates to around what 500 BC. So
Yep.
that's just one example of the history
Yeah.
of knitting. Hey, if this whole thing about the troubles in your dissertation doesn't work out, you could do a dissertation on ancient knitting.
It's true. It would not be outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot happier than the troubles. Frankly. I mean, I've read enough accounts of people losing their lives. I'm like, oh man, this is depressing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah. Well, there you are. So that's just one example. Ancient knitting with Teresa Martin.
There you go.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up this hour, coming up on the hour mark. Is there anything you want to say, share, not share about knitting to wrap this party up?
Well, so if you want to stay like specifically in touch with like my knitting, I'm going to share this is my Instagram for specifically my knitting, and it's also a bookstagram. I kind of split the two, so if you want to follow me over at tbooksyarn on Instagram, you're certainly welcome to. I talk about just pretty much everything I love doing. It's a pretty loose and free account. And then just keep an eye on my Etsy store. I'm going to be putting it into vacation mode from January to February, just simply so that I can have time to kind of recoup and get my thoughts organized. And when I want to open it back up and open up special orders again. So I probably will run a little sale after Christmas. We'll see. And then I'll be going into vacation mode. And just again, I want to have a lot more nerdy things. I want to have a lot more engaging things, not just kind of generalized scarves and hats. I want to have more in the shop that people in this community especially I think will appreciate. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I hope I'm going to try and wade into the world of YouTube. We don't know when that's going to happen, but this has definitely helped me get my toes wet. So I feel a lot better now. I'm a lot less nervous.
Well, hey, and absolutely, and you're welcome anytime here in Miss Martin Musings. You said that you are a bit of a Tolkien fan, so for sure. Yeah.
Oh yes, huge Tolkien fan.
All righty. Well, stay tuned here in Miss Martin Musings. Stay tuned here. We do have lots of things happening. We have our Two Towers book discussion on Saturday mornings. We're going to also go on a bit of a break after a little bit. Sorry, after tomorrow's one, because with Christmas and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. And is there anywhere else where we can find you? Anything upcoming?
Just a Twitter at a troubled green. I also have a troubled green on Instagram. I have the 2 Instagram accounts. So Twitter and Instagram. I'm also, so like if you type in a troubled green pretty much into any social media, Getter, locals, I haven't started anything on locals because I don't like the fact that you have to pay for everything. But so yeah, anywhere you type in a troubled green, it's a good chance I'm there. So Twitter, Instagram, Getter, those are my 3 main ones. And then again, hopefully going to get into YouTube here relatively soon after the holidays, after everything calms down from the year. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on right now. So I have a lot of plans. I have goals that I want to achieve. But I'm a big believer in not revealing everything because sometimes outside energy can kind of throw you off. So I do have a lot of big things coming. I just need to like sit down and do them and stay really focused. So that's my goals. Those are my intentions for the new year.
Okay, well, that's great, and thank you for being on here. Thank you for
you.
everyone in the chat. It's always great to see you. We have one of the best chats here on Miss Martin Muses. Well, all I can say is have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain if you are going to knit. Actually, I'm not even sure what you need to be sure to do. Just be certain to not drop those stitches. Have a good one.